Welcome to another episode of Making It Keto. And today, guys, we're going to be making a smokehouse brisket mac and cheese that's going to be low carb. You're going to love it. We're also going to be using a different recipe. We're not going to be using the cauliflower in this recipe, guys. So if you want to learn how to make this, stick around. All right, guys, so for starters, we're going to be using a pasta that's made from lupin flour, or well, lupin beans, or whatever you want to call it. It's supposedly supposed to be low carb, and it's from the company Kaizen, guys. I don't know if you ever seen this before, but we're going to be using this inside our mac and cheese today instead of the cauliflower. We're getting away from the cauliflower, guys. We're starting to have a lot of options, a lot of other low carb options for noodles. Some people can even make this at home, but I think it's great that you could just now go and buy certain things like this. So what it's saying is it's a low carb, high protein pasta made with lupin flour, 20 grams of protein, 6 grams of net carb, and 15 grams of fiber. So total net carbs, 6 grams. For pasta, I don't think you can beat that, guys. Like I said, low carb doesn't always mean zero carbs or 1 or 2 carbs. Low carbs can be anything that fits your diet that keeps you in ketosis. So keep that in mind, guys. Some people like to, try to stay under 20 grams. My threshold is around the 40 or 50 grams to where I start to have issues to where it kicks me out of keto. But this is different for everybody. So that's one thing I want to stress the most on the keto diet, guys. Being under 20 grams, sometimes certain people require less than 20 grams to stay in the ketosis. And it just varies from person to person. So just keep that in mind when you're doing low carbs, anything. These pastas or anything, guys, it really doesn't make a difference. Do what makes you right and do what keeps you in keto. All right, guys, so here are pretty much most of the ingredients we'll be using. We got some eggs here. We'll need 5 eggs, some sour cream. We got some Monterey Jack cheese that we're going to put inside. And I'm still debating whether I'm going to sprinkle some just regular cheddar cheese on the top. You guys stick around and you'll see how that turn out. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and stick with 2 Monterey Jacks, and these are 8-ounce blocks. I'm going to put 8 ounce in, and I might put 8 ounce in. I may put more than that, guys. So just depending on how I feel. And guys, like I said, this recipe is customizable. You can change up what you want to do and what you want to put inside of it. We're going to need a stick of butter. That's important. We're going to need some heavy whipping cream. Of course, we're going to need our low carb pasta, guys. I'll have a link on Amazon where you can get this at. I will say it's pretty expensive. I believe it was $36, but you get 3 packs. I'm going to go ahead and make all 3 of them because this is going to probably last me the entire week, if not a little more than a week. So I'm going to go ahead and use all of it. But just to let you know, it's kind of on the expensive side, guys. But I mean, that's the price we pay for low carb, right? And I also have here some leftover brisket that I'll be cutting up in it. Hence, smokehouse keto brisket macaroni and cheese is what we're making today. So that's what we're going to use. Also, guys, you don't have to use brisket. You can use chicken. You can use turkey. You can use whatever you want to put inside of it. I'm just using this. All right, so for starters, we're going to start out by cutting our brisket into small pieces. That way we can have it incorporated throughout the mac and cheese, guys. So just rough chops, nothing super special. We're just going to cut it down into smaller pieces. That way it can spread out evenly throughout the mac and cheese. And like I said, guys, we're going to be putting this on the grill because I'm wanting that smoke flavor. But if you guys don't want to use the grill, you can just put it in the oven, at the 350. And you'll get the same thing just without the smoky flavor. So if you don't want to use the grill, you don't have to. You can use the oven. I'll be actually using the grill. All right, now that we have the brisket cut up, we're going to go ahead and add it in the pot on medium. And guys, we're not cooking this. We're just getting it hot because when we put everything together, and you'll see here in a few, we want everything to be warm and to melt that cheese. And while we're doing this, we're also going to add in some keto barbecue sauce. And I normally use the G Hughes brand. I know if you're on keto, you know about this. If not, get on it, guys. It's probably the best thing since cooked food. But anyhow, we're going to go ahead and add in a few tablespoons. Or you can add in about how much you like. I'm going to add in about 2 or 3 tablespoons here. And then we're going to go ahead and just mix it up. I'm wanting more barbecue sauce than that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another tablespoon or so. And we're pretty much just getting this up to temp, nothing special. So once we got some heat on this, we're gonna go ahead and remove it off, and we're gonna go ahead and start boiling our pasta. All right, so now that our water's boiling, we're gonna go ahead and add some salt in. Just a teaspoon or so, or tablespoon, I mean. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our noodles. And like I said, guys, I'll be cooking all 3 of these. You can kind of do it the way you want to do it, but for these 3 bags, what I'm using is what you'll need. So if you're not going to cook all 3 bags, you're going to have half the recipe down, because then you'll have too many eggs and then you'll have too much sour cream. So just kind of half everything if you don't use all 3 of the bags of the noodles. But let's go ahead and add these in and get these boiling. All right, so as you can see, my water temperature dropped as soon as I added the noodles in, but that's okay. We're gonna let this go for about 10 to 7 minutes via the package. So on the package, it says pause for about 7 to 10 minutes. So that's what we'll do. And we'll see where it's at that point. So what we don't want to do is overcook these noodles. We don't want to do that because it has to go on the smoker for a few minutes too. So we don't want to overcook it. So we want to catch it right, before it's done, or at the moment when it's done. That way, when we put it on the smoker, if you're gonna do it in the oven, it'll finish cooking in the oven. So I'll show you guys what that looks like here as soon as we get to that point. All right, so while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and get the heart of this mac and cheese together. So pretty much that will be, we're going to go ahead and put in a cup of sour cream. So get yourself out of bowl. So let's go ahead and add in our cup of sour cream. And we're going to add in our 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And now we're going to go ahead and add in our 5 eggs. And we're going to go ahead and mix this. We still got to add our stick of butter. But what I like to do is I like to mix this in first, because when I add the stick of butter, it's not even going to be melted, guys. I'm going to leave it in its stick form. That'll happen once we put it inside the hot noodles, and I'll show you here in a second. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and cut our cheese into blocks. So what I like to do is cut it straight down the middle. So we're going to go ahead and cut the cheese up. Cut it down the middle like that, and just cut them into cubes, guys. Like that. We're going to spread this all throughout the mac and cheese, like cubes like that. Some people like to shred it, and you can do that if you want, but this is just my preference. If you want to shred it, shredded. All right, guys, so now our noodles is done. It's drained. I already strained it off, and this is what it looks like, guys. It actually turned out better than I thought. So now that we have all this going and everything is still hot while the noodles is hot, we want to go ahead and add in our cheese, guys. This is the most important thing because we want to get this melted thoroughly throughout the mac and cheese. So let's go ahead and incorporate that first. Once we do that, we can go ahead and start mixing that in there and getting it melted down. That's really the purpose of you doing this, is to melt the cheese. So let's do that. And what you also can do, guys, is while it's still hot, just put the top back on it, just like so, and give it a few minutes. All right, so I had the lid on for a few minutes, and as you can see, the difference it made already, starting to melt down in there, and that's what we want. If it all doesn't melt down, that's fine. It will once we put it on the smoker, or if you do in the oven, when you put it in the oven. But this is what I was saying by adding it in while the noodles is hot so we can get that melt. We're also gonna go ahead and throw in our butter, full stick of butter, guys. At this point, we can go ahead and add that in. And as you can see how this is coming together perfectly. Our butter is starting to melt. Our cheese has melted throughout. And I wish you could smell this, guys. It smells amazing in here right about now. I'm standing right over it and it's just pummeling me in my face. I obviously won't be making things like this all the time, but when I do have it, this is the best alternative to low carb mac and cheese, guys. This is going to be your best option. I'd rather this than just eating regular mac and cheese, which we already know is super, super high in carbs. And now once the butter is melted, we can go ahead and add in our brisket, guys. Let's not forget about that. Look at that. Let's go ahead and add that brisket in there. Man, that smells good. And I'm using about a half a pound of leftover brisket, guys. Of course you can put more. I mean, you can always put more. Be up to you, but I'm using a half a pound. All right, I want to stop stirring this because I can see it's starting to break up my noodles and I don't want that. It's starting to get a little breakage in there, so let's stop right there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add this into our cast iron now. Everything's mixed in besides the egg mixture. So let's go ahead and pour it in there. All right, guys, so as you can see, all of this did not fit in the intended cast iron pan that I wanted to use. And as you can see, it kind of stumped me. So what I had to do is I had to put it into a bigger pan. I actually use a deep Dutch oven. So guys, just realize this recipe makes a lot of mac and cheese. And like I said, it's going to last you, if not a whole week, especially if you're feeding a family. It'll last you longer than you think. So just be prepared to put it in a deeper pan. So I went to my cast iron Dutch oven and it worked perfect in there. So let's retransfer this again because this is not going to work, not with all the egg mixture, and it's just too much. I thought it would work, but it's not. So let's switch this into a bigger pot. It's much better, much better. So now anyhow, we're going to go ahead and add in our egg mixture. Let's go ahead and stir this in. That looks pretty good and mixed up to me. Lastly, we're going to add on our shredded cheese. And I'm just using the stuff in the bag, guys. Just makes it a little easier. It adds a little bit more carbs, but not enough to throw any red flags, anything like that. But we'll be using the entire bag because I like mine cheesy. If you don't want to, guys, this is an 8-ounce shredded cheese, 8-ounce bag. And I'm just gonna add the whole thing because I like my mac and cheese cheesy. It's the whole point, right? All right, lastly, we're going to go ahead and season this. And I'm just gonna use a chicken season here. You guys can use whatever you want. It'll be completely up to you. But I'm gonna use this on the top mainly for the color, but also for that, this got a little spice to it, so that'll go well with it too. But that's what we're gonna do. Now we just go ahead and take this to the grill. So I have my grill outside preheating at 350 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go in there. Now guys, understand this is already cooked. Other than the eggs, you can probably eat it as it is now. So it's not gonna take long to cook. What I like to look for is the cheese bubbling up and melting on the top. We know we're done at that point. Pretty much we just cooking eggs, the brisket's cooked, the noodles cooked, sour cream you can eat, butter you can eat without cooking it. So the only component in here that needs to be cooked is the egg. So with that being said, I'll say 30 minutes, let it go for about 30 minutes at 350 in the oven, and vice versa, 30 minutes on grill. I'm going to be using a pellet grill, so either or, just keep your temperatures at 350 for about 30 minutes and I think we'll be good. So let's go ahead and take this out to the grill and get this thing cooked. All right, guys, time for the taste test. Let's see what it tastes like. All right, still kind of hot. Wow, guys, it tastes better than regular macaroni. I'm gonna tell you right now, putting it in the smoker is the way to go. You get that smokiness, get the brisket, you get the barbecue sauce that was on the brisket. Guys, you cannot tell the difference. This tastes amazing. Now, I will say this. I know a lot of you guys don't want to use the grill or the smoker because I have a pellet smoker, but I'm telling you, you'll be missing a whole nother level of flavor if you just don't take the time. If you can do it, guys, to just let it get a little bit of that smoke flavor in it. It takes it to the next level. This is amazing. Wow. This really outperformed my expectation, guys. It tastes just like mac and cheese. Better than mac and cheese. All right, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's another great recipe, another great idea, another day making keto easy. Y'all already know the motto here. Y'all know what we do here. We making keto easy by making everything keto. And if you have any recipes that you want me to make keto, go ahead and put it in the comment box below, and I'll make sure to try to do that for you. You guys have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.